I'm Regina McCann-Hess, and welcome to Women in Wealth. Today we have another friend. And Autumn, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
Well, first of all, Regina, thank you so much for having me be part of this wonderful series you're doing and for all the work you do empowering women, not only financially, but just all areas of life. So thank you for all the work that you're doing.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind.
Yeah, well, listen, I think it's important because it's amazing the things that you're offering. So I'm Autumn Nessler, principal of An Intentional Life, and I coach professional women when they reach a stage in life and they realize they have decades of life left, and these are women who really have done it all. So they've done career, they've done marriage, possibly motherhood, all in high heels, as I say. And the reality is that they're tired of the merry-go-round and they want to get off, they want to live life on their own terms. And really that's where I come in. So I assist them with thinking about what's next, and to do so by design, not by default. So in other words, working with me, we develop what I call an intentional life plan. So they're truly looking at all the roles that they play, how they want, work to play a role moving forward, but also all the other things that they do, all the other hats that they wear, the 40 plus hours they work, of course, but then coming home in the 40 plus hours they work as mothers and spouses, and the list goes on and on. So what I love, so many things. After having one of those moments myself, career-wise, where I said, enough of this, I want to do something different. I am so honored to be part of this time in a woman's life where they are pivoting from what they do to who they are, to really enable them to honor themselves, to honor what's in them, to put themselves first. I mean, when was the last time you as a woman put yourself first, right? Doesn't
Never.
happen. So I am so, honored to be part of that and to see the transformation that takes place when a woman says, this is my time, this is what I want to do, and really look very hard at all the different roles and really reevaluating, as using your term, rebalance the portfolio, right? To really, really rebalance what life should and can look like for them moving forward. So I love that.
Amazing. What a great way to put it too. It's so fun. And you obviously love what you do because
yes.
I speak to you have so much energy and you bring so that is so sweet. So sweet. I love it. So know that, as a woman in many of the different career paths that you've had, I'm sure you've across a few challenges as a Can you share any of them?
Yes, you're right. So, I did the 35 years working 4 very different careers. I don't really count this as a career because I guess it's a passion, it's a purpose that I have. And so I think probably as women, it's all the different, career options that I chose. And really, I'm a person who takes risk, tries new things. I always used to say to people that I worked for my leaders, I will continue to show up for work every day and give you 150%. When I feel like I can't do that anymore, I'm going to let you know that well before you ever have to tell me to leave. So I've had the good fortune. I've done a lot of different things with my life. All the roles and all the skills and all the experience, they kind of build upon one another to actually really support the work I do now. So it all made sense to me when I started my practice. But, the challenges, of course, is doing it all. Like women I coach, right? Working all the hours that I did. And, you get to the point where you say, is this it? I mean, really, do I want my tombstone to say she worked? And really, is that the legacy that I want to, leave behind? And I made my way up the career ladder. I fought my way to get through that glass ceiling. I did all those things traditionally, but I also had that moment where I said, enough. So I think that's been the challenge professionally, is balancing the roles, knowing when it was time to put me first, knowing when it was time to listen to that voice inside of me and honoring that.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Not many women can do that. Not many people in general, but especially as a woman.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do the right thing that's right for you, because you
Yes.
usually put everybody else in front of you.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And honestly, if you think about it, there was guilt. Trust me, there was guilt.
Oh yeah.
I had gotten to that point in my career where, I was doing good things. I was, at the top of the ladder, whatever. And when I told people that I wanted to get off, I got a lot of pushback. And the other problem is I felt guilt that I was leaving women down as a whole. I mean, don't know where that came from, but I thought like, man, here you are, you're doing all this. And now if you say, I want to do something else, are you letting women down, as a whole, which was ridiculous, but it was my truth.
No, and I can see that because we do carry a lot of guilt with us.
Yeah.
But I am going to turn and say, I think it's more of an inspiration for many of the women coming, into that phase of their life, and seeing what you're doing and what you have done with that and the changes you've made for you. And that kind of gives them a little bit of permission. You know what? That's okay. I can do that for me too. So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you brought up the pandemic, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about. Obviously, we're all pivoting and changing and making the most of that situation. And how are you pivoting, and what has happened and changed for you as a result?
Well, I think, prior to this, there's millions of women out there today thinking about leaving the big job, and either to work less hours and really focus on other parts of their life, or to think about post-career, or the dirty word I don't like to use is retirement. So there's millions of women out there doing that, right? So now we go into the pandemic. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh. And I did a survey actually where I asked them, what were their concerns about, post-pandemic, if there is such a word. And, part of it was, will I have a job to go back to? How's this going to impact my, me financially, my family, all those things. And so part of that is that I also realized that one-on-one coaching, I needed to revamp that, because I realized that whereas there might not be a lot of women out there thinking about working with a coach at this moment, even though they're thinking about themselves and their jobs and their families and all those things, I realized that really what was important to me, and the pivot that I'm making, is I'm working now on a series of talks that I'm going to give to women's conferences, to financial advisor conferences, because I think it's so important to get the message out to as many women as I can. And I realized that by doing the one-on-one coaching, which I love and will continue to always do, in order to have a broader impact and a broader message to go with it, I needed to talk to larger groups of people. So pandemic for me has been, what's going on with the women out there? What are they thinking? And oh, by the way, how do I reach them in a different way? So that's really what the pandemic has done for me.
Great. Hey, Autumn, can you tell us what your website is?
It's www.designretirement.org. And again, it's designretirement.org. People can also reach me always by phone, and that's 215-870-2960. And as we talked about a few moments ago, they can also look at me on Facebook, both at An Intentional Life, and also Nancy Autumn Nessler is my personal page, and also on LinkedIn. So lots of ways to kind of follow, look at what I'm posting, seeing the articles that I share, all that type of thing.
Great. And I know you post a lot of great items out there.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Well, and thank you for joining me today.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Always fun to see my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I want to thank everyone else for joining us as well for our Women in Wealth series. And again, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management. And you can follow my company on Facebook and Twitter at Forge Wealth. On LinkedIn, I'm Regina McCann Hess. And of course, my website is forgewealth.com. Thank you and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Regina.